This post will be massive. I'm suffocating from this, and if I don't dump all the details, I'll just burst like an overheated steam boiler. I'm Michael, 38 years old. My story isn't just a story about infidelity. It's a story about the total falsification of reality, where for 18 years I was a stand-in in someone else's play. Sarah and I met in 2005, our sophomore year at the University of Illinois. Me, an introverted programmer whose world consisted of clean code and logic. She, bright, loud, talented future journalist, the center of attention at any party. How did we get together? She said I was mysterious and reliable as a rock. I was drunk on her attention. She was my opposite, my gateway to the living, colorful world. We got married in 2009. Modestly, but I saved for her dress for 6 months. In 2013, we bought a house in Wheaton, a suburb of Chicago. I took overtime, worked like a dog to make the down payment. She chose the wallpaper and furniture. In 2015, Lily was born. I remember her tiny fingers gripping mine. I vowed to myself to be the best father. I thought we were building a life. Brick by brick. Love, trust, a shared future. I worked a lot, but always remotely. I was there, had breakfast with them, took Lily to school if Sarah left early. I listened to her stories about articles, the stupid editor, the nasty colleagues. I was her therapist, her tech support, her rock. I considered it my duty and my happiness. I was blind. Around 2020, something changed. Not sharply, but like a change of seasons, gradually, but inexorably. The phone. It used to lie around everywhere. Now it became an extension of her hand. She would turn away when typing messages. A new password appeared, not a fingerprint but numbers. Security, honey. I have source contacts in my phone. Yoga, a new hobby. Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. She would come back with wet hair, shower at the studio, smelling of someone else's sandalwood-scented shower gel and something else we didn't have. She'd say, "You wouldn't believe how relaxing it is." I believed. The emotional wall. She was physically present, but her thoughts were somewhere far away. I tried to talk. "How are you? What's on your mind?" Answers. "Everything's fine, tired, just work." Sex, or rather, its absence. Our intimate life died a quiet death. My attempts to initiate anything met a wall of polite fatigue. "Not tonight, Mike, I have a splitting headache, let's do it on the weekend." The weekend would come, and a new reason would appear. Criticism. Suddenly, I had many flaws. I breathed too loudly. My jokes were flat. My love for sci-fi was childish. I couldn't talk about feelings. I lived in a virtual reality. Each such phrase was a thin blade, but I blamed it on her stress. She fell asleep on the couch. Her phone, that black mirror rectangle, lay on the coffee table like an indictment. It vibrated, not once, persistently. I knew the code. 0907, Lily's birthday. I took it. My hands weren't shaking. Inside, I felt empty and cold. I opened Telegram. A chat with the name, D. I clicked, and the world turned upside down. The last message. "I can still taste you." Wednesday was divine. "Love you most." I scrolled up. Photos. Her photos she never sent me. Content, with shining eyes, in beautiful lingerie I hadn't seen. Photos of his hands on her waist. Their joint selfies in a bar where I was with friends a month ago. Turns out they were sitting in the corner at that time. I started reading from the very beginning. A 5-year-old dialogue. "David, 5 years ago. Sarah, it's David. Found you. Can't believe it. Sarah. Oh my God, David. How are you? Heard you're back in Chicago. David. Yeah, working at the Tribune. Married, kids. But something's just not right. Sarah. Tell me something fun. My life here, it's like living in an aquarium. Beautiful, clean, but stuffy." I felt nauseous. I read as they revived their old jokes. How she complained about our predictable life. About my robotic nature. How he called her Sparky, a nickname I didn't know. How they planned their first meeting. Then the first betrayal. Then, a whole affair. They discussed me, my habits, my schedule, how to fit their meetings around my coding busyness. It was an operation, and I was a convenient, blind part of the landscape. But the worst part, Lily. She wrote to him about her. Sent photos of her drawings. He advised which book to buy for Christmas. He once asked, "Does she look even a little bit like me?" Sarah replied with an emoji. My stomach tightened into a hard, painful knot. I sat in the dark, and through the roaring in my ears, I methodically took screenshots. Every confession, every plan, every mention of my daughter. I sent them to my backup email. Deleted the history. Put the phone back. She woke up, stretched. "You're not sleeping?" Her voice was hoarse from sleep. "No," I said. My own words sounded like a gunshot in the silence. She took the phone, glanced at it briefly, and I saw a shadow pass over her face. But she quickly composed herself. An actress. The next morning, I said I was leaving for an urgent 2-day conference in Milwaukee. Lying came easily. I was already living at the epicenter of a lie. I didn't go to Milwaukee. I went to the office of my lawyer, Marcus Wright. I showed him the screenshots. His face became professionally impassive. "We need more, Michael. For court. For custody." I hired a private investigator, Paul, on Marcus's recommendation. Gave him everything. The yoga schedule, the name, the car model David mentioned, Audi A6, 2018. A photo of David from LinkedIn. "I need photos with geotags and timestamps," Paul said. 48 hours later, I had the package. Photos from a long lens, clear as my pain. They were exiting the Pinecrest motel. They were kissing in the parking lot. She was getting into his car, and he was fixing her hair. A tender gesture I thought was mine. Each photo was dated and time-stamped. Every Wednesday for the past month. Except for the 2 when I had the flu. Then her yoga was cancelled. I looked at these photos in a cheap motel room where I was staying, and I threw up. Then I cried. Not because of her. Because of Lily. Because our family, our home, our shared breakfasts. All of it was a set for her secret life. After meeting with the lawyer, I returned home. I needed to gather documents. Sarah was at work. The house was empty. The silence in it was different, heavy, accusatory. I went into her office. I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe more evidence about money. In the bottom drawer of an old 18th century bureau, her family heirloom, there was a hidden compartment. I knew about it. We laughed about it when we moved in. A hiding place for love letters, I joked then. She gave a shy smile. There was a box, made of dark wood with bronze fittings. Inside, under a layer of blue silk fabric, I found a stack of letters on yellowed paper. The handwriting, expansive, confident. "My only Sarah, every day here in New York makes me realize what I've lost. Your eyes, like 2 shards of summer sky, haunt me. I will write a novel, and it will be about us." Signatures. Yours, David. Dates. 2006 to 2008. Her treasure. A simple school notebook with grid lines. The first pages, her attempts to copy my handwriting. Lines. "Dear Sarah, today was a hard day, but the thought of you. I am grateful to fate for every moment with you." She was meticulously forming my capital, M, and S, trying to mimic my slant. It was eerie. And several finished letters from me. On beautiful paper, bought specially, it seemed. The text was taken from David's letters. Verbatim or with slight changes. But they were signed with my name. And dated with our key dates, our wedding day, Lily's birth, our 10th anniversary. I sat on the floor of her office, holding these sheets, and understanding washed over me in an icy wave. She wasn't just holding onto memories of an ex. She was trying to put his words in my mouth. She wanted me to be him. The romantic, poetic, passionate David from her youth. When the real me, practical, not very verbal, loving in a quiet, everyday way, refused to match this phantom, she decided to cheat. To forge evidence. To create an alternate reality for herself where her husband was that very man. And then, when the fantasy wasn't enough, she returned to the original. Her physical affair lasted 5 years. But the spiritual, the real betrayal, the betrayal of the very essence of our relationship, lasted all 18. From the very beginning, she didn't marry me. She married an ideal that lived in those letters and tried to stretch my skin over that ideal. I'm in a rental apartment now. Signed a 6-month lease. Told Lily that Daddy needs to live separately because of a big project, but we'll see each other very often. Her childish question, "Is Mommy in this project too?" almost finished me. Sarah is in panic. Her messages are a roller coaster. Denial phase. "Mike, this can be explained. It's not what you think. He's just a friend." Anger phase. "You hacked my phone. You violated my trust. It's your fault we grew apart." Bargaining phase. Let's go to a therapist. We can fix this. For Lily's sake. Despair phase, the most honest one. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. He was a part of my past. I don't reply. I communicate only through the lawyer. Marcus says we have a very strong position. Especially with the archive. He calls it evidence of systematic marriage fraud. Tomorrow, we file the papers. I'm asking for full custody with limited visitation for her. I can't let her life in two realities traumatize Lily. What do I feel? Not rage, not hatred. A deep, all-consuming sadness. Sadness for those 18 years I lived with an imposter in my wife's head. Sadness for the love I gave, which she accepted as substandard. Sadness for the man she wanted me to be, but whom I could never and would never want to become. I am broken, but I have to hold on. For the little girl who still believes daddy can fix anything. This time, I'm fixing our future life. Without ghosts. Without forged letters. Only the truth, however bitter it may be.